Hello, students, and welcome back. I hope all of you are doing well. Today, we'll be learning the same chapter which we had taken before the midterm examination, and this will be the second part of the chapter. So, now let us have a look as to what we're going to be learning from this chapter. For the contents, today we'll be discussing firstly about animal songs, second, another poetry entitled Moving Like a Cat, and thirdly, a poem about coral reef. So let us find out more about each of these different types of poems. Firstly, on the first topic, we have animal songs. Here we'll be discussing about a poem that is related to Africa and in particular the Congo River. It focuses on the Congo River and forests in Central Africa. The Congo River is the deepest river in the world and the ninth longest river in the world. The river lies through a huge rainforest with many colorful animals in it. The poem, Song of the Animal World, which we're going to discuss in some time, is about the way animals move in the forest. The following poem is entitled Song of the Animal World. This would have been more interesting if we were in the class, where I could be the narrator and you could all chime in together in the chorus section. But as we're not in the class, let me just read this poem out. Okay? So now, the narrator. The fish goes, the chorus will come in as hip. Narrator again. The bird goes, chorus, whiz. Narrator. The monkey goes, chorus, none. Fish. I start to the left, I twist to the right. I am the fish that sleeps through the water, that slides, that twists, that leaps. Narrator. Everything lives, everything dances, everything sings. Chorus. Hip, whiz, nan. Now the bird's turn. The bird flies away, flies, flies, flies. Goes, returns, passes, climbs, floats, swoops. I am the bird. Narrator. Everything lives, everything dances, everything sings. Chorus again. Hip, whiz, nan. Monkey. The monkey, from branch to branch, runs, hops, jumps with his wife and baby. Mouth stuffed full, tail in ear. Here's the monkey, here's the monkey. Narrator. Everything lives, everything dances, everything sings. Chorus. Hip, whiz, nan. Here the poet is describing how the animals live freely and happily in the forest. The poet has used different sounds in the poem by expressing the animal sounds. The sound made by the fish is hip as it moves around, twisting, slipping, sliding, and leaping in water, while bird flies and goes whiz as it climbs, floats, and sweeps in the air. The monkey goes none as it runs, hops, and jumps around the tree with his wife and baby. The poem is a happy poem as all the animals are moving about happily and freely in the forest. We can know that this is a happy poem as the narrator keeps on repeating how everything lives, everything dances, and everything sings. Everything here meaning the different animals that lives in the forest. The forest contains all of the other animals, but here the poet is only talking about the fish, the bird, and the monkey. The next poem that we will be discussing, entitled Moving Like a Cat, is a haiku poem. Haikus are Japanese poems with 17 syllables and 3 lines. There are 5 syllables in the first and last lines and 7 syllables in the middle line. Haikus are generally very short but they try to paint a very clear picture of something. In order for us to understand or learn about a haiku poem, it is important for us to firstly understand what are syllables. A syllable is a part of a word that contains a single vowel sound and that is pronounced as a unit. For example, here in the picture, you can see how the word banana is separated into three parts. Banana, meaning that the word banana has three syllables. The other example you can see is the word watermelon and how it is separated into four parts. Watermelon, meaning that the word watermelon has four syllables. In the next picture you can see the first word dog. Now the word dog has only one single vowel sound. Therefore, the word dog has one syllable. The next word we have is apple. So that means apple has two syllables, two vowel sound. The next example we have is ladybug. Ladybug. That means three syllable. The other example we have is salamander. Now if we have to separate this according to the vowel sound, then we have four syllable. That is salamander. The other example again we have for one syllable is pig. Another word for two syllable is robot. And the third example for three syllable is octopus. Okay, so that is how you need to find out the syllable in a particular word. Here we have an example of a haiku poem, and this poem is about a cat. Let me first read out the poem without breaking the different words into syllables. Suddenly awake, stretching, yawning, arching back, stalking, bouncing, cat. Okay, so that is a haiku poem. It has only three lines as you can see, and it is describing about the cat. Now, in the first line, if we have to separate it into five syllables, you can see how the word suddenly has three syllables. Suddenly. And awake has two, that is awake. Now, if you have to count all of these, then it will be five syllable in the first line. The second line we have stretching, that is two syllables. Yawning, that is again two syllables. Then we have arching, two syllables, and back is only one syllable. So if you have to add all of these, that means it has seven syllables. The third line, stalking, two syllables, bouncing, two syllables, and cat, that is one syllable, that is five syllable. So as earlier when we discussed, we learned how haiku has three lines. First and the last line has five syllable and the middle has seven syllable. This is very important. So whenever you're asked to write a haiku poem, you must keep in mind that it has to have three lines, and the first and the third should have five syllables and the middle should have seven syllables. The haiku about cat can be related to the country of Japan because many Japanese people are very fond of cats. There is even a National Cat Day. The poem describes about how a cat wakes up after a nap, that is after sleeping suddenly, and is making different movements by stretching his body forward and backwards, and stalking, meaning walking in a slow manner like when it's on a hunt, and pounce or jump onto something when it sees it. Cat also makes sounds like yawning and a long drawn meow after waking up. Here is another example of a haiku poem. I've given this example so that it'll be more clear for you. The haiku poem is entitled Rain. The first line is splish, splash, puddle butt. The second line, raindrops march in spring parade. Third, Wake up, sleepy earth. Here it is all describing about the rain and how when it rains, the mud get all mushy. Yes, it's all muddy, right? And this usually happens during the spring season. Spring season is when there is a lot of rainfall. Okay, so it's like the rain is dropping on the earth and the poet is asking for the earth to wake up. Now here also you can see in the first line how it has 5 syllables. Splish, splash, puddle, but. 5 syllables. The second line, rain drops march in spring parade. 7 syllables. And the last line, wake up, sleepy earth. Okay, here also you can see the syllable that is 575. Please remember the syllable. Next we have another poem entitled Coral Reef by Claire Bevan. Now before I explain about the poem, let me read out the poem for you slowly and nicely. Coral Reef. I am a teeming city, an underwater garden where fishes fly, a lost forest of skeleton trees, a home for starry anemones, a hiding places for frightened fishes, a skulking place for prowling predators, an alien world whose unseen monsters watch with luminous eyes. A coral reef is made up of thousands of tiny animals called coral polyps. This coral reef is home for thousands of species of plants and animals. The colonies of coral grow in warm, tropical waters close to the river and are usually found near areas with waves. Coral reefs are found in more than 100 countries around the world. Most reefs are found in the Pacific Ocean, the Indian Ocean, the Caribbean Sea, the Red Sea, and the Persian Gulf. The I used in the poem here is the coral reef itself, who is comparing itself to a crowded city and a garden underwater, covered with beautiful colors. It is a place where fishes swim swiftly that it appears as if like the fishes are flying. It is like a lost forest of skeleton trees because of the stony coral polyps that excretes, meaning that gives out calcium carbonate, and which, because of this calcium carbonate, it gives itself a white dull color, making it look like a skeleton. It is a home for anemones. As you can see the picture here, the pink color, that is called anemone. Okay, it is a stinking polyp and it looks similar and is a close relative of jellyfish. This particular anemone spends their time on coral reefs waiting for fish to pass close enough and get consumed in their venom-filled tentacles. Tentacles like that of octopus. You can see it the anemone has so many tentacles, right? Coral reefs are also a hiding place for frightened fishes who tries to keep away from enemies who are always on a hunt looking to eat them. It is an alien world whose unseen monsters watch them with bright shining eyes. With this, we come to an end for this particular chapter entitled Poems from Around the World. In this chapter, we have learned about different poems and how each poem was related to a particular country. That's all. Thank you. Stay safe and take care until we meet again for the next class.